back. Did you know the average woman has dieted for 17 years of her life? Now join us after the break as Karen and Frank Daly of the Academy Masterplan will be here to educate us on realistic weight loss. More on that in 3. You're very welcome back to the show now. For as long as people have eaten food, there have been quick fad diets and cures to lose weight. Now from juice fasting to low carb, the caveman diet. Finding what works for you can be difficult. However, most of these are not sustainable. They're just quick fixes. Now my next guest believe that Irish people are just losing basic cooking skills and they want to re-educate, excite and empower us about nutrition. Now Karen and Frank Daly are very welcome to the show. Karen, you're a familiar face to me now. Back in the midday days, you were on the panel and you had just recently started your own business, selling low-fat meals because you had lost 4 stone yourself through Slimming World and wanted to have an easy, quick and way to, I suppose, facilitate other people to have easy meals. How did you change from that to where you are now?
I suppose the biggest thing for me, I've worked in weight management now for 9 years, nearly 10 years, and after losing just over 4 stone, I felt so amazing that I just wanted to share that literally with the world. So I suppose that was initially always my goal, how I ended up first in weight management. Then I suppose we were meeting people, particularly women, every single day of the week who couldn't cook, I suppose, number one, and as a solution to that, they...
Don't be laughing at me, you know I can't cook.
We're going to improve that.
No, we're not.
We are. And what you can't, you must. Back to that.
Okay.
So they were looking for food options, and I suppose at the time we kind of felt that was an opportunity to develop handy meals that they could cook quickly, but probably not solving the problem, because I find you do that for a period of time as well and you'll buy ready-made meals or even healthier ones.
Yeah.
But over time, particularly as mums and families and busy lives, you're not going to do that forever. We need to eat 3 times a day for the rest of our lives, whether we like it or not. And the more of those we can cook, the more awesome we're going to be.
So basically, your whole mantra is we need to learn how to cook properly and cook decent ingredients, which is not rocket science. It's probably what we all grew up with, and we've gone down all these fatty things and we've lost our way.
Yeah, totally. And I think, like, how many of us get up in the morning and take time to put on makeup and put on our clothes? See, it is important, but yet we don't take time to eat. Don't take time to cook breakfast, don't have 20, 30 minutes in the evening to prepare a dinner, but yet we can fit in, we can scroll through social media for hours on end, probably, for lots of people nowadays. I think basic skills, cooking amazing, delicious food, though, as well. Like, I eat Thai curries, taco chips, chicken pies with phyllo pastry, cook with double cream, and people are like, oh my God, you can't have double cream and lose weight. Or maintain your weight. I've maintained my weight for 10 years, went back to college, did a master's in weight management. So we share science and evidence and research along with practicalities of wanting to live every day and manage busy lives, enjoy a glass of wine along the way too.
Yeah. And the 2 of you now, Frank, you were involved in the business now. You weren't, I was supposed, in the initial one, and now you chucked it all in to come on board.
He was in the first one too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were still working.
Hide in the background, Elaine.
Oh, good man. Best place for you.
Absolutely. That's where we belong. But yeah, I was always part of it. And I suppose, you know, we learned a lot when we had the food business. And food's tough, food's hard, you know. And I'm not saying we're delighted we're out of it now, but we're in a place now where we're passionate. We're really passionate about weight loss. And I'm passionate about fitness and boot camps. And it seems to work.
So you're a fitness instructor now?
Fitness instructor, done it about 4 years now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't do it when I was 20.
Yeah.
But listen, it just wasn't part of the journey at the time. But it was it's so enjoyable. I really do, like, behind the scenes, I suppose we do the book work and the paperwork and all that, and let Karen front of house. But my release is really when I'm taking the boot camps. That's my passion.
Yeah. So I suppose you went back to college to do weight management because you needed to know the science behind what you were talking about. Because I think it's important to do that and know what you're on about, and not like there's nutritional therapists left, right, and centre around the place, and they're not properly qualified because you end up not eating enough. The worst thing you can ever do is cut out any food group, and that's what people are doing. They're cutting out carbs, or they're cutting out anything, protein, you name it, and you need to be able to eat bits of everything to be a healthy person.
Absolutely.
But we've been so brainwashed, I think, we were after forgetting about that a bit. Is it important for you to kind of sustain and pass the sustainable message on to people now? Do you think that's how you get longevity?
And I think it began as a passion. Like, I was working as an operations manager in a recruitment firm, thinking there was no better job in the world than getting people jobs. Oh my God, you go into an industry where you have people lose 2 pounds, never mind 5, 6, 7 stone, and their life changes literally overnight. They jump up and down with excitement, and you see them come alive again. You see the light behind the eyes, and then they can do anything. If people feel amazing, they literally can do anything. And for me then, when I did my master's, I had to choose a research project obviously at the end of it, and my research project was on long-term sustainable weight loss.
Yeah.
The research will tell you that people can't sustain weight loss.
Everyone can lose weight. Everyone's lost weight. It's easy to, like you did, that 4 stone. The secret is kind of maintaining a healthy weight then afterwards.
And for me, I always said, people literally, when we meet them, either they come in the doors of the Academy or they do it online, weight loss is 2 parts. You lose the weight first, and then you keep it off forever. But yet most people think, I'm going to lose the weight and then I'm done, so now I go back to doing whatever I did before. And that's why lots of people will lose weight changing their lifestyle in some way by eating chicken and broccoli, say, for the next 6 weeks. You'll drop a stone, no problem, in 6 weeks eating chicken and broccoli and eggs for breakfast and living on water. And we all know that. What's going to happen at the end of 6 weeks, though?
Yeah,
you're going to want a Chinese and a bottle of wine, and you're never going to eat chicken or broccoli ever again. You're going to have a stone back on in 6 weeks. And I suppose for us, it's teaching people that if you change your food and your eating and your lifestyle in small, sustainable ways, but you make it amazing, and I mean delicious, and the best food you ever could have. Like, people are always fascinated. I might add 100 or 200 extra calories to a dinner to make it absolutely delicious. But like 2 custard cream, 1.5 custard cream biscuits is 100 calories. How many times throughout a day do we pick up, and I shouldn't blame just custard creams, it's a bad example, but how many times do we pick up biscuits and bits of pieces to eat without giving it a second thought, and then sit down to a really bland, rotten dinner?
But see, I suppose as well, I'm guilty of that. And you look at, like, I'm conscious of looking at food labels now, the amount of fat and the amount of sugar in things where it wouldn't have been so much before. But I mean, the so-called healthy bars and healthy snacks that you can have, I don't know how they get away with labelling them as healthy, because they're the furthest thing from healthy you can ever look. They mightn't have the same calories as a Mars bar. They might have a little bit more protein than Mars bar, but nutritionally you're not getting anything better than you would having a bar of chocolate. Like, how are people getting away with this?
I say all the time, you wouldn't wrap your bar of chicken or your chicken fillet in chocolate and call it protein.
Yeah.
We wouldn't. But
That's
we're doing it, and then pay €3 maybe for it as well.
Yeah.
So, back to real food sources, food first, delicious, sustainable, amazing. And yes, if you want a bar of chocolate or something in between, or a glass of wine, so long as that's the minor part of your day, that's the moderation piece or whatever, then you're still going to be able to...
lean meats, it's really, but if it's pulled from the ground, if it's taken from a tree, you know that that's a good source of food, and that's what we're trying to... we're not reinventing the wheel, by any means, but it's taking everything back to what we done 50, 100 years ago. You know, there wasn't a franchise takeaway food on every corner of the street like there is now. Food's just too convenient now, and sometimes you need to feel hungry. Like I always use an example. A service station, a petrol station. When you went there 20, even 15 years ago, you had your fill up of petrol or diesel. And you walked in, and you might have picked up a carton of milk or a loaf of bread. Now you walk in, and there's 3 or 4 or 5 different restaurants in these places. It's just out there. It's in your face all the time. And 2 coffee shops as well. Do we need 2 coffee shops in a petrol station?
Yeah. But if it's fast food and it's fast everything, we seem to have lost the run of ourselves in one way. But if you look at the statistics, I mean, there's been warnings that by 2030 we're going to be the most obese nation in Europe. The Irish are going to be. We have a massive spike in childhood obesity. We can't get away from that. But I mean, children are not fat unless they're learning it from their parents. That's the end of it. And fat isn't a word that many people like, but it is what it is, and it's going to cause diabetes. And we're looking at kids that are not even hitting double digits yet that are being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. That is absolutely frightening. They're building up hormone problems. They're building up, their bones aren't developing properly. It is a ticking time bomb for health. Whatever about anything else, and yes, everyone gives out about weight plans and weight loss plans and this, that, and the other thing, being happy as you are. I'm all for being happy as you are, but you need to be healthy as you are. And I think health is something that's gone down the wayside when it comes to talking about weight loss. It's about how healthy you are.
And it's all about education as well, and that's what we do so well in the Academy. We call ourselves the educators in weight loss. So it's eating the right foods and finding out the reason for eating those foods as well, and I think more needs to be done in the schools as well.
Yeah, so but I think the health as well, sorry, just said health. People think healthy is not being sick. Healthy is actually jumping out of bed in the morning, full of energy, living a life that you actually genuinely deep down feel amazing. And most people can't genuinely get out of bed and say that. I say to my kids, even 2 boys, obviously they're almost 11 and Jamie was 8 there, and you have 7 trillion cells at least on the inside of this body, running around every single day, and you either decide that you're the captain of this ship and you're going to make them amazing and you're going to feed them, you're going to give them loads of water, oxygen. We don't even breathe. We don't breathe properly. You're breathing.
So I'm breathing now.
We don't breathe, our stomachs don't inhale, we don't get enough oxygen into our body, which is a huge problem. We don't take in the right foods, we don't take in enough water, and then we don't move enough. We don't live a life full of energy and uplifted. We go around. It was raining yesterday, it was miserable yesterday. Everybody walked into the Academy yesterday, you could see people just coming in going, you know, and their energy's dropping and they're going to the floor. Less oxygen getting in, less movement, less mobility. You know, so simple little things.
So what is your master plan then? What does it entail?
So Masterplan is an education course, and I suppose we rebranded there recently to the Academy Masterplan because I suppose a master plan is a comprehensive plan of action. And I think if you're going to change anything or do anything, then that's exactly obviously what you need. Our overall master plan is to rid the world of obesity. And extreme as it may sound, it is like for me personally, having lost 4 stone, I know how amazing that made me feel. Never mind the lifetime of health. One of my life goals is to live to 117.
What? God, does anyone want to be 117?
In good health, good mind, good body, why the hell would you not? And I suppose on Jamie, actually, my son lately, there was, probably seen the news story a while ago, there was a Russian woman lived to 124.
Yeah.
My 8-year-old turned around and said to me, Mummy, why do you only want to live to 117? That lady lived to 124.
Frankly, be exhausted for you by then. The energy, I mean, I'm exhausted even talking to you about this. But it is, I suppose, now what's the median age now for people living? Is it like 83 or 84?
Should be like because of all the medical advances, we should be getting to at least 90 in this country. Our women aren't making 80 and our men aren't getting to 70. Because of what we're eating and drinking and not doing primarily. And a big research study published there recently was saying it's so important when they looked at all the countries in the world and what we eat. What we're not eating is as important as what we're eating. Yeah. So even the worst diet could introduce more water, introduce more vegetables, more colour, more nutrients. And I suppose for us in the master plan, what we do is educate people, teach them what they already know very often, but get them empowered and excited and give them reasons to be motivated.
So if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do so?
The Instagram, I'm Master of Weight Loss on Instagram, or our website is the Academy Masterplan. We have an academy in Dundalk, Newry, and then you can do all our courses online. Phenomenal thing, like we're reaching people in Qatar, Australia, New York. We had a challenge last week on our app to get people out walking, or a couple of weeks ago on our app, and one of the girls posted this picture in Doha. And we were all like, oh my God, if we can do that for people in Doha.
And that said, the results have been amazing. Because you don't have to be in front of people physically for it to work, because the plan is so doable. And there's a couple of things happening in the UK now over the next couple of weeks, which we're so excited about. So.
And we're not talking about dropping a stone in 2 weeks. It's like slow and steady wins the race, really.
Both though, like there's a girl actually at the minute posts every week on her app, and she chooses herself, because a lot of people do it very privately, very confidentially, and maybe post for support of that. She has lost 50 pounds in 13 weeks, just over 3.5 stone in 13 weeks, which is phenomenal. Everybody, I think, thought for a while she's a phantom nearly, you know, because, you know, she keep posting these results every Monday. And then last week she posted up her before and after photos, and everybody was just, oh my goodness. But and equally though, whether that takes you 12 weeks to do it, whether it takes you 24 weeks, whether it takes you 60 weeks or 6 years, if you never give up and you decide in your head, I want to be X and I ain't stopping till I get there, like doing anything. You decide you want to go on holidays, you decide you want to buy a new car, you get it in your head and you go and you do it.
You go in the zone.
And
Once
you don't stop.
You're in the zone.
You don't stop.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the show today. We're all very empowered after that. And thank you very much for joining us for the very first time, Frank.
Thank you.
Anyway, time for a quick break. But when we come back, it's Travel Tuesday.